April was an interesting month. On the one hand, Sky, Children of the Light released onto PC. Finally, I have been waiting for this game to release on PC for years. Age of Water got delayed, unfortunately. We all got to try out PAX Days Alpha 2, and admittedly, it did turn out to be quite a bit higher quality than we'd all anticipated it being. It's a shame that it's ending soon. I know there were a number of people that quit after an hour, after a couple hours, without giving it a full, deep, thorough try. And from what I've seen, it does get progressively better the longer you play. Abyss Online got delayed, and based off of what I've seen of Abyss Online, yeah, that's not really all that shocking. Bitcraft rolled out an alpha test that turned out to be fairly decent. Hey, my name is STIX, and welcome back to another episode of MMOs Releasing Next Month, a video series that I do where I take the time to let you know what MMOs are releasing in some form. Beta testing, alpha testing, fully playable, early access. These are games slated to be playable in some form over the course of the next 30 days. That way you don't miss out on anything. If you enjoy this series, or if this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that little bell notification. That way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post. And I post multiple videos per week. If you're curious what came out last month or at any point in this year, consider checking out any of the previous videos in this series. Other than that, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Let's start this off with Legends of Aria. Legends of Aria was a failed MMO years ago that ultimately resulted in the sale of their game to a crypto company. It really didn't do any better there. And after repeated failure, the studio have decided, you know what? You know what sounds like a great idea to us? You know how we can maximize our revenue? Yeah, let's go ahead and try that again. Let's relaunch this time as Legends of Aria Classic, because you know what? It worked for World of Warcraft, right? It worked for Ion. NCSoft are doing it with Ion. They're doing it with Blade and Soul. Every MMO that is stagnating seems to have some form of classic iteration do better than the live version. So, by that logic, so should ours, right? They went on to state, and I quote, "We are excited to announce Legends of Aria Classic, a return to our pre-Steam early access rule set of 2019. You know, when Legends of Aria was still failing. Early 2019 was a magical time for Legends of Aria. Players had created some truly amazing player towns and houses, all 13 of them. Finely crafted with furniture and decorated with the spoils of adventure. We had balanced flow of red versus blue and orange, which played out across our world. We watched large dungeon raids and faction battles explode into meteoric chaos. These are the experiences we wish to return to and faithfully build upon with Legends of Aria Classic. We are introducing the fun and scalable systems such as Karma and Factions, and we'll be tweaking and expanding them as we resume development." Essentially, this reads more or less like, we messed up, and we want to try again with an early build. This time, however, we will do better. Spoiler alert, no they won't. If selling off their game to a crypto company has proven anything about them, it is that they care about money more than they care about their game or their players. Regardless, for anyone that is interested for whatever reason, Legends of Aria Classic is releasing onto Steam on May 9th. Tarisland has pre-registration open and available for the upcoming release of the game. I don't know anyone, absolutely anyone, that is actually excited for this game, but I'm sure that there are some mobile gamers out there that are. A confirmed release date for May has not been given, but they did state that the game will be releasing very soon. And with pre-registration now open, it makes sense to be releasing in the next month or two. If they wait any longer, they'll lose any momentum that they've garnered up until this point, especially with Wuthering Waves, Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, all having major releases in some form over the course of the next couple months. Additionally, I do want to point out here, when looking at their website, or the pre-registration area of their website, it does state that we can pre-order on the Windows. Yeah, on the Windows. The Windows 7, the Windows 11. I just want to point out here, this is a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar company opening pre-registrations for their game. This is what people are going to see for the first time. This is the first impression they are going to have of their game and of their studio. And they couldn't get something so easy, so minor, so insignificant correct. They legit just reused the image from the App Store rather than reusing the image from the Play Store or coming up with a new one altogether. This is a great indicator as to the localization and translation quality that is no doubt going to be present in-game. Before we discuss the remainder of MMOs releasing, allow me to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon. Your guys' support is why I can make videos like this every single month, and I deeply appreciate you all being there for me. Age of Water is finally released as of April 25th into early access. Unfortunately, even as unique as the game ultimately looks and feels, they released to mixed reviews over on Steam. It offers players a sandbox world centered around the ocean, very little in the way of land masses, man-made towns that are floating atop man-made platforms. There is city raiding, there is pillaging, there's a lot of PvP. From what I've seen of the negative reviews, however, the gameplay seems to be fun, but everything else is a buggy, broken mess. There are instances where enemy NPCs are randomly spawning in and just murdering you. There are enemies just standing there in T-pose doing absolutely nothing. There are delays in input. There are latency issues. There are server issues. Honestly, what you'd expect from a beta test. Definitely not what you'd expect from a game that is charging you up to $50 to play it. Netmarble have officially released Arthdal Chronicles as of April 24th within Korea. MRSSSTIX actually went ahead and downloaded the game, and she's played for the last few days, every single day. She plans on doing a full dedicated video with her experiences at some point next week, I believe. Pre-registrations for the game numbered in the millions, so a lot of Korean players were very eagerly anticipating playing it, especially given its connection to the Arthdal Chronicles Korean drama. A global version is confirmed, however, until it releases, if you want to play it, you'll need to download the Korean version. Abyss Online is releasing, hopefully, on May 7th, at least into early access, which is, as you should know by now, the new paid testing phase. I also feel like I've kind of been saying this for a while now. MRSSSTIX tried the most recent test phase out, and she spawned in, she just walked around a little bit. She saw a building with random furniture. She saw a dragon that was trapped diagonally in the ground. Yeah, it was very weird. She walked around some more. It's a little disconcerting how little actual game there was in a game that is technically going to be charging you to play it. But that could also change between now and release. I will note, as I always do, this game did start off as a crypto game and has quite the notorious history that I strongly urge you to investigate by checking out the dedicated video that I did on Abyss Online. I do appreciate Budsk over on the Abyss Online Discord, however, mentioning that I should get an invite. I definitely will do a dedicated video on this once it does launch into early access, but calling me out here for reviewing weeb games that'll look significantly better than Abyss Online is absolutely laughable, especially when the weeb games that I'm covering are Blue Protocol, Throne and Liberty, Grand Saga, and other really, really great looking upcoming gacha games like Do It Night Abyss, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero. I don't know. Self-reflection, my guy. This just really isn't a good look, nor is that a good take. And that is every MMO that I'm aware of that is releasing in some form and is or are playable over the course of the next month. There's a lot to be excited for. Well, there are some things to be excited for, and some we're gonna want to immediately pass on. But hopefully next month provides you something to have some fun in. Again, if you're interested, I urge you to go ahead and check out one of the videos on screen right now for more MMO goodness.